I'm here with one of my really good friends, Graham Betchart, who is a very well-known and renowned mental skills coach. And Graham has basically spent his whole life trying to figure out what makes people work, why the brain works, in an attempt to get people to perform better, usually in the arena of sports. And we're mixing things up a little bit today,
Let's mix it up, Joey.
and we're going to take his skill set in a different direction in something that we're starting to call making space for love. And basically, taking everything that he knows and using it to help people have a better relationship with themselves and to recognize patterns that may be preventing them from unlocking everything that's possible and potential and putting it into relationships. So
Bro, let's go. And we're doing it all from my garage.
yeah, we're in Graham's garage, and this is
Hope
like
you enjoy.
this setting is dope. Like, there's like a key. You guys can't see this. There's like a keyboard over here with some speakers. Graham has like a little studio. He's got stuff out on iTunes. He puts out music. Graham the guide. There's like a mannequin here. Like, I mean, I don't
It's
know.
it's
Like,
quite a vibe back here. My my
there's a heavy
stepdad's built
bag.
a boat back here. We've recorded music back here. Two NBA champions have been in this room.
I mean,
It's a wild it's a very creative space. So now,
I like the energy I'm feeling from this space.
yeah,
So it may
let's
just look
go.
like we're sitting in the garage, which we are, but I'm happy to be here. So
It's the place
um,
to be. Let's go.
for people that don't know you, talk a little bit about how you got into
Yeah.
this field.
Well, I lucked into this space. Man, I was 19 years old, just struggling, and asked my mom for help, and she introduced me to mental performance. Introduced me to a counselor. Ran the San Francisco Healing Center, so it wasn't from like an athletic context or it was healing. I mean, I come from hippies. My parents were hippies and midwives and all this stuff, but when I got introduced to this in 1997, when I got introduced to it, I knew right away how real it was. And I was being introduced to like something I could not deny. And here it is 28 years later, and it passes all tests with flying colors. So this really isn't about me, but this is about what I was taught. And it was something that when it was taught to me, I was like, oh, if you practice this every day, everyone can do this. You do not have to be born with it. You do need to be aware of it. So the goal for something like this is like, let's help people be aware. You know what I mean? And then like give them a place to practice it every day. I just got introduced to it, and I took it and ran and practiced before this became whatever it is. I knew it would help a lot. So I lucked into it because I was anxious. I was not very present. I was not doing very well in life, but it looked like I was doing well, right? Like I was in college, like I'm doing well, went to a great high school, but inside I was just like struggling. And so that's what started my catalyst to ask for help. And really, that was 28 years ago. I'm still on the same journey, man. Like it's just a journey every day of like exploration of yourself.
Just never stops. Like, that's the thing I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is like what you said. One of the things you said is it looked like you were doing well.
Yeah,
And
right.
so many people struggle with that. I struggle with that. I'm like,
Fuck.
just so you know, everything is fair game. Like, we've been talking, we've been working because
I don't.
I'm working on
I
myself in
got you
that
though.
too. So like, don't feel like you can't bring up the stuff that we talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
But there's such a, especially in the world of social media right now, it's like, it's like reality versus
Ooh.
Instagram. And I mean, that's something that I struggle with. It's like, it's okay. And one of the things that you're teaching me now is you have to love those parts of yourself that aren't okay. You have to love
Come
those
on.
parts of yourself that are not part of the spotlight, right? And like,
That's I think that like that's how I got when I got introduced to this. It's through I think like most shame and guilt. We feel shame and guilt for whatever the reason is, for hurting other people, for being hurt ourselves. Those tend to be the catalyst somewhere in there. And then you have like these feelings. You're like, well, let me just push that down, and I'm gonna overachieve in school or be successful or just like I'm doing great. And the whole time I realized I was trying to run from this thing that I couldn't run from. I'd run it for years and years. I'm like, I can't outrun it. And so there's one day, that day of like, okay, I can't outrun it. What do I do? And then it's like the first thing you do is you learn to be okay with the thing you're running from. And you're like, no way, like that's the thing that if I'm okay with that, I'm gonna die. And so that's the thing you actually have to go love. And the love doesn't mean it feels like a euphoric love experience. It feels like shame and guilt, and you're just being with it and okay with it. Literally, just pull it out. That's why I built this belt.
I love this.
This belt
Love
says
this.
victory goes to the vulnerable. So we put this belt on like when you're willing to lean into that uncomfortable, savage, uncomfortable experience of loving the part of you that you feel shame and guilt, you're the champion. Joey, this is what you did the last couple of days.
I love this.
You are a champion.
Like, yeah, I love this. And he's my trainer. He's in the corner.
I can't do the
It's
work
like-
for you, but when you have this, like this is the feeling. But like my experience, and I think this probably help everybody. My experience was like I didn't have a choice but to do it, because if I didn't do it, I knew the other path. I was like, I know this doesn't work. So even if the other thing seems really scary, why not try it? Because you can always come back to living how you're living. And what I started to realize was I had like frozen parts of my heart off because I didn't want to be hurt anymore. So you freeze your heart and you're like, great, I can't be hurt anymore. And it's true, you can't be hurt, but you also can't love. So like you can't be hurt, but you've shut off all love. So the vulnerability is I'm going to learn to kind of open it back up a little bit. And that feels fucking raw, right?
Yeah.
Really uncomfortable, but that's like the place to go.
What I noticed, one of
Man.
the things I noticed in the last few days is like, so for me, it's like feeling chosen or being seen, right? Like I need to feel chosen. I need to
Yeah.
be seen. And because of the things that happened to me when I was younger, I used those things that I thought I was being vulnerable, right? Like
Yeah, right.
I thought I was being vulnerable in the sense of like I would put that out when I met somebody. I'd be like, here's my trauma, right?
Right.
Like this is what I've experienced. But it was really like, this is my wall. And I just realized that my whole life I thought I was putting it out there saying like, this is my trauma. And I'm actually been putting it out there saying, this is my wall. And I don't let people come past that.
Damn. And let's just think about how beautiful is that wall. Projecting it as trauma, who the fuck can argue with you?
Yeah.
Like no one can break through that, so you have this impenetrable force where no one's ever going to be able to hurt you.
Yeah.
Right?
And now I'm like learning that now I'm going on the other side of that wall for the first time almost too, and
Yeah,
seeing
right.
what's over there. And it's like things that are buried so deep, and like we were talking about, it's like the things that I feel shame about, and maybe not that we're ingrained. Like maybe it's not like things that are born to feel shame about, but things that others put on me when I allowed other people to tell their story about me or tell my story. That came with shame, right?
Yeah, right.
And scared, like being scared and not feeling like you're enough and feeling like you have imposter syndrome, like all these things. And so one of the things you're big on is like you say, hey, 500 times a day, 100 times a day, just keep telling yourself, I love myself unconditionally. And when I started doing that, the version of me that started doing that was the picture perfect up front in front of the wall version, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like I was like, I love myself unconditionally. I love myself. Like I was saying it so confidently, but there was this whole other part of me that's behind this wall being like, no, you don't. Like, I'm scared and I like all this stuff. And so
There you go.
when the real breakthrough happened, and stage one, by no means do I think I'm there yet, but the first part of that breakthrough was when I was like, oh, I get what he's saying. Like, I could just look at it, palms down, right?
There it
Like
is.
palms down, and it doesn't have to be major, and I can just say it quietly to myself and speak to all of those places inside me.
Do you see that? That's the power of surrender. I love myself unconditionally. You're still trying to protect something that you protected your whole life for a reason. And then the surrender came where you're like, because that little voice inside of you was like, you're not loving all of yourself. And you could hear it. Because as you start to say, I love myself unconditionally, you're declaring that's the truth. And so the part of you that wasn't being loved was like, hello.
And it creates tension. I could feel it was like creating tension.
A good tension, right?
Well, like when I was yelling it at myself,
I see
it was
what you're saying.
creating this tension. But when I like brought it down, it was like, I love myself. So now what I say,
Well, that was the surrender.
when these things come up inside me over the last few days, what I'm saying to myself now is like, I love that part too.
There it is.
right? I love that part too.
You
And
see,
like that
this is it.
shit.
Look at that. This is how this works. The part you never wanted to love, I love that part too.
Too.
You got there.
Like,
You got there. And Joey, when you started to love that part, did you die right after and cease to exist in the world, or what happened?
no, like I don't know how to describe, like everything, it felt like I've been holding my breath for
Yeah.
so long.
Oh,
And
well
then
said.
everything just went like this big exhale. And I was at like my daughter's basketball game right after this. And I noticed that like I was talking to other parents in the stands, and like I didn't feel like I was performing for them like some parents do, or I didn't feel like I was like like I wasn't filling space or silence. Like I was just being, and someone would talk to me, and like I felt like what was coming out of my mouth was like more true than, and it was like, hey, how's Lainey doing, right?
Yeah,
Like
right.
it's like, but still the way that I was answering and talking, it was like I didn't feel like I had anything to prove. I didn't feel, I was just like at peace with whatever was happening in that present moment. And that's
Dude, you got there. The word surrender gets a bad rap here, and it's like it means like you're quitting. But think about the affirmation, I love myself unconditionally. That's declaring we're going to get to the parts that you've blocked off, because unconditionally means all of it. You were doing great conditional self love, and I just wanted to love this part. And then a certain part of you was frozen. But the good thing about our heart and stuff is it won't die. It won't. It'll kick your teeth in before it'll give you a chance to wake up. And so when you were like, I love myself unconditionally, trying to force it, it was quietly like, you need to come to the part you don't want to love. And when you said, I love that part too, that was your freedom. How courageous was that, right? And think about whenever you close it off, most of us, we were children or something happens in your life, right? So really, it's just you as a young person. You as an adult, you're totally safe to be like, we can actually open this thing back up. I like the visual of like, we got these energy sources in our body, call them like a chakra maybe. You got these different spots in your body. I like to picture them like rims on a car. You know what I mean? So like if your chakras are frozen, your wheels aren't moving, right? They're frozen. And you as you start to surrender to love yourself unconditionally, maybe your heart, right, is maybe frozen because you don't want to be hurt anymore. As you rev it up and it starts to spin again,
move.
it's just going to start
And that
illuminating.
energy gets put out into the universe.
Now, when you've opened yourself back up. That energy comes from a source. Whatever you want to call the source, I don't give a fuck. I don't know what it is. I just know it comes from somewhere. And when you open it up, it comes through you. And as it's coming through you, it projects outward. So if someone's talking to you, they feel the magnitude of light that's coming from you. It's not, you don't need anything from this side to try to give you validation of like, you're an A+ student. That's nothing to unlocking. When you unlock this, from the outside, things start to have less effect. Think about this one. This one always got me. Think of like a can of soda. If a can of soda is empty, and we flick it from the side, it'll buckle, right? Because it's empty.
Yeah.
If a can of soda is full and we flick it, it just takes it. As you start to unlock all of yourself, you're a full can of soda. So there's like outside stuff still going to be here, like you're great, you're shitty, I love you, whatever. And you're like, wow, it doesn't buckle me like when these things were turned off and someone would be like, I don't love you or whatever it is, and you collapse. So just like profound job opening yourself up.
Well,
Opening yourself up.
that was a
I have to do
great
it every
moment,
day.
but then I told you like the next morning I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I opened myself up. Oh my God. Like, right. And you like just have this moment of panic where you're like, I just let the world see all the things I've been hiding for so long. And oh shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Now what?
but then as the day moved and things started happening, it started opening up. And like you told me, go out in nature, like get a workout in, like focus on some self-care stuff, and like drove down Highway 1 and went surfing.
Boom.
And like I was so present, and still like I have the thoughts that come into my mind
Yeah.
of like thinking about the situation and wondering about certain things, and like it's hard, but what really calms me down is like when I just stop and I say like, I love that part of myself too that worries about that. I love myself too, that part of that like feels shame about that. I love myself too, the part that feels like a vulnerable little kid that like doesn't have the skills to get out of this, right?
Wow.
Like, and then as soon as I say that, it's like things relax and
Think about what you're doing. If you welcome it in and you're like, you're welcome to be here, it has no counter to that. That's love. And you're just bringing it into love and you're like, we're willing to do it. Like sometimes when we feel anxiety, one of the first things we do is we try to run away, like just get away from it by any means. What I learned to do is you say, hey, sit on my lap, anxiety. What are you here for? Like, what are you here for? And it's going to go, what do you mean? Like, run. And it's like, I'm not running anymore. Sit down. You're clearly here to show me something. What is it? So you reframe kind of how you're looking at it. Still has a sensation, but be aware of the stories. So sensations and stories, right? You feel some,
right.
the story is, I can't love myself. It's absurd, that story. Like, it's not even close to reality. So if you can just start to observe the stories, right? You just go, wow, look how wild those stories are. It says, I can't love myself. And then say, what's the actual sensation in my body? Like without the story, what's happening here? Maybe it feels tight in my chest. You know, like maybe you can notice it. Okay, I'm going to open up there. And you just start to open up all your mechanisms. And the story is going to say, you're going to die. And you got to be like, that's clearly just not true. You now have evidence of, right?
Yeah.
So the first time you do it, that's the leap of faith. I can tell you you're not going to die. You actually have to experience it because you're like, I am going to die. I'm like, you're not. But it looks like certain death, right? It looks like absolute certain death. And you have to go into that because in that darkness is where the light is. Someone saying that to you sounds foolish, but you have to get to a point in your life where you're like, well, let's go try it. And this is what helps. If you try it and you don't like it, come back to shutting your heart down. It's no problem. You can always come back to that. That's an option for you. Don't worry. You can pass that to your children. You can pass that to everyone you want and show them how to shut it down if that's what you want in life. Or, like you did, you opened it up. You have an immediate, well, I'm present. It feels good. And then the next day, right, pretty raw. So let's take this to working out. The first time you work out, what does it feel like the next day?
You feel like shit, man.
You feel like shit.
You can't even walk.
Anyone ever squatted for the first time? If you feel courageous in the moment, you're like, sweet. Get a little high after from the euphoria of working out. And the next day you can't sit on the toilet, right? The next day you're like, I'm never doing this shit again. This is a worse pain than not working out. We got to just work through that. So that rawness, as you first open yourself up, you thaw the ice out, energy starts to spin, it's coming out, it's going to be raw. So in that raw time, one, yes, great, be in the rawness. You're totally safe, but like you did, total self-care. So you went surfing, you were in nature, really good. I know you like to exercise, all these, just like the basics. That'll get you through so the rawness doesn't just, so you don't just shut it back down. Because you just, every day, just a little bit, just keep opening it. And after a while, that rawness that felt raw, 6-9 months later, not so bad. I mean, what did I tell you? Like, let's do this for 3 months. Like, just give yourself 3 months. This isn't a 3-day thing, right?
Yeah.
And then, but if you don't drink water and eat food and move your body a little bit, if you're opening yourself up, it will spiral a little bit. And let's keep it real, right? Like, so let's say you're training. You're like, hey, I'm going to start lifting weights. And for whatever reason, I decided to not sleep after, to not eat.
Or like
water.
sit on the bench, right?
Yeah.
Like until the next day you had to go in the gym.
It's going to be terrible for you. That's not how you work out.
No.
So we're doing this is real training, right? Call it spiritual work, heart work,
You
love
walk it
work.
off a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
so
in between.
we did it. Me and you were on a phone call, what, intense 30 minutes, intense 45? And then the rest, like no more after that. We don't do that for 24 hours. Go recover, brother. Go get a good rest. I want to eat, all that. And then we'll get at it again maybe tomorrow a little bit, right? And we build on that. So this is a training mechanism. This isn't just some wild ass shit where you just let it rip and then just forget about all the human stuff. This is why we teach mental skills. You mentioned one. And we got some fun jewels. Palms down.
Not this.
Yeah, so here's how palms down works. Instead of this, I feel so raw. Let me shut my heart down again. It's like, no, let me choose my response. I feel raw because, thank God, I'm finally opened up. This is a good raw. Now, when I feel raw, let's get with some nature if I can, or take a walk. Let's do the basics. You happen to have a surfboard and be able to go do that. Maybe everyone can't surf. You can surely take a walk. I'm hoping you have a park somewhere around where you live. Get to a park. Drink water. Eat some food. I like to go to the gym myself. It's whatever works. Like for me, being out in the bright sunlight, sometimes I'm just like, I'm like a vampire. So I can go to a gym, get a great sweat on an elliptic machine, And I feel really centered after, where I can like, all right, my thoughts, they don't eat me up as much, right? I can. So the skill you're working on early is you're going to observe, Joe, you're going to observe old thought patterns, and you got to observe them and just not react to them. So this is palms down, right? And here, just sing this with us. I don't react, I respond. I take a breath and I move on. That's the palms down. So you're not reacting to the primal thing that tells you, shut it all down or don't be open. You're like, I'm going to respond. And then you take a breath. There's some basic breaths. You can breathe in for 5, out for 5. That tends to be a solid start. There's all kinds of more advanced breaths, but all the breath is in the moment is if you're aware, okay, I'm feeling it, I'm feeling raw or whatever, I'm feeling like just reacting like, protect, defend, deflect, I love it, like, no one get here. When you feel that, you got to go, that ain't it. And so just find a breath or two. And while you're taking that breath and you're in your feelings, this is when you, like you did, you relax and say, I love all of this too. This part right now that I want to run from, you know what? Come here. I love you too.
It's
because
crazy.
There's no counter to that. There's nothing that has power over that that I've ever discovered. I've tried for 28 years to find something that'll whoop that ass. Nothing whoops that ass. The only thing that'll whoop that ass is you forget to do that in the moment, right? So if you're like, fuck, I wasn't aware, no problem. That's, here we go. That's what we call next play or next play speed. Oh shit, I forgot to do it. Fuck it, next play, bounce back, and we try it the next time. Because we're all human. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect at it. You're not going to be perfect at it. But we can bounce back, right? We can choose our response. So next play is acknowledging I'm human. If I find myself defending myself and like not doing it, oh wait, what am I doing? Because we've defended ourselves our whole life. That doesn't work.
It's so like stop. Next play. Give yourself some grace.
Boom.
Right? Kind of like that.
Here's the
not
mantra.
Like that goldfish
Step
mentality.
Back, make space, create a runway, receive grace. Ooh. Step back, make space, create a runway, receive grace. So think about it when we're feeling defensive. When you're feeling defensive, it feels tight, right? Like does it feel like there's space? No. It feels like, there's no options in life. So you go, wait, step back, make space. First thing I'm going to do is in your mind, just think like step back, open up. Because when we feel tight, it just feels like this. Open up and see the entire universe. There's so much space. Oh my God. I'm in my thoughts. What's happening? Step back, make space. So you make space. Create a runway means open things up. Visualize like creating a runway. I like to look at it like a big, abundant plane wants to land with everything you've ever wanted. This beautiful plane is like, we're coming for you. It has everything you've ever wanted on it. And it goes, where are we going to land this thing? You've clouded all the runways up with, you've crowded it up with whatever you've crowded it up with. So we have to empty this thing, make empty space, which will feel kind of raw, and it'll feel like it's empty.
Dad, I've got some drinks for you.
Oh, you're the man. Come set it right here.
Okay.
Teeter, say what's up to Joey.
Hey, Joey.
How's it going?
That's Ty.
Nice to meet you.
That's my son. This is real life here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ty. Appreciate that.
The little goodnesses.
We might be putting you in a video later, so get ready.
Awesome.
So step back, make space, create a runway, receive grace. So making the space is instead of being uptight and defensive, I'm going to open up. Might feel kind of raw, but I want you to visualize making like a massive runway. And you go, now that I've made that space, that plane can land. Whatever that plane is for you. For anyone in life, maybe it's like, oh, it's the job I wanted, or it's the relationship I've always wanted to be in, or whatever it is. Relationship is not everything's filled up so no one can get to my core. You'll never hurt me, and like, let me have it. That's called being unavailable, right? Available is my heart is totally available, and I've made a runway, and you'd be surprised what lands when you do that.
So when we talk, like, we've talked before, and we started this. Initially, my whole thought process was like, let's talk about patterns. Like, why do people get in unhealthy patterns? Like, why don't we leave things like we don't know, right? And
hold on, can I help you out? Watch this one. Everyone, just fold your arms real quick. Have you done this one?
No.
Okay, fold your arms. No big deal, right? How many times you done this shit? I don't know, 10,000 times?
All the time.
Watch this. Do it the other way. How weird does this fucking feel? Try this. So how weird does this feel, right? So go back to the first one. What if this was an absolutely unhealthy relationship? God, it feels so comfortable, does it not? Right? But now, go to a healthy relationship. Oh, it feels weird at first.
Like,
right?
why is it that
It
is
feels
you
so.
doing the same thing, but it doesn't
So
fit
we'd
right
have to do this a bunch of times,
before it?
and then healthy's going to feel good. So just checking in with like a pattern, the pattern you're attracted to may not be a good pattern. It's attractive, and it has a magnetic pull to it, but it's just recognize it may not be a pattern that's good for you, but it for sure is attractive. To get out of that magnetic pull, all you got to do is recognize, I see what this is. The other pattern is not going to feel attractive at first. And just know that. Like if this is it, you're like, fantastic. Now, if I did this 100 times, I bet you it gets better. By 200, by 1,000, you're like, I
You
love
don't
this.
even notice, and
And
then
then,
the other side gets uncomfortable.
yeah, then you want to make the one that's not healthy for you eventually recognize that's not the pattern. But this is where this is practice every day, right? So we can't just, it's not a light switch in one moment. We're like, this is now it. Like, this is called the work. The work is I recognize the comfort of the old way. And say every time we did this, I just slapped you. Like you're like the old pattern, like, super comfy. And you're like, fuck, why do I always get hit? And then every time you did the uncomfortable pattern, I went, good job. You'd be like, it feels terrible, but you would eventually be like, I'm not getting slapped anymore. Because you go, oh, feels so good. Oh, I hate that, but then unhealthy. And you're like, the new way, the healthy way, I don't even get the immediate reward. The reward is going to come. And this is the part where you got to have a catalyst to change the pattern, but it's totally doable.
So let's,
Yeah.
like, where I feel like you do your, where we have the best encounters is like, instead of just, we've been sitting here for a while talking about stuff outside of
Yeah.
this little bubble, right? So let's bring it into this bubble. Like, I just had something end with somebody where I was it felt great, it
Yeah.
felt comfortable, but I was recreating a pattern of from my childhood,
Yeah.
right? So I'm adopted, and I had attachment and abandonment stuff happen when I was days old, and then
Yeah.
again when I was adopted and out of foster care, and then the circumstances of the family that adopted me weren't great, and they weren't able to love me the way that I needed to be loved, and
There's the pattern.
so that's the pattern, right? Is like, and they did. I never felt like they fully saw me or accepted me, and so here
Totally.
I am. Like I was thinking about this the other day. Like for decades, I have been chasing people. Like I will chase someone, be like, but just choose me, right? And I'll be like, but just choose me. And then like they're like, okay, like I'll choose you, but like they're not really choosing me. I'm chasing them.
Yeah.
And so, or like choose me, see me. And so what I realized with this person was that it felt great, but they weren't accepting all of me.
Yeah.
And I was having to, like, I was holding up a lot of the emotional weight or, fabric of the relationship. So
Let me
like,
help
how
you
do
out.
I get out of that?
They were loving all of you. You were not presenting all of yourself. She was loving what you presented. It's okay.
Okay.
And that was the same pattern you grew up in, and you wanted to finally make your parents love you. Whether it was your biological parents or your adopted parents, you were going to go back into that pattern and try to force people to love you in that pattern until one day you realize that's not the pattern to be in. It's not go back into trauma and make the trauma right. It's get out of the trauma. And the courageous part is you going, could there be someone that actually loves me for who I am? Is that possible? And that's the vulnerability. And the answer is yes! Fucking yes! But you have to love yourself. She was loving everything she could, and you were choosing someone who was not going to love you all the way because she was not going to force you to open your heart up. You could close your heart up the whole time. Someone who's going to be available for you all the way is going to fully expect you to be fully available too. And that's going to be a whole new level of horror. It's going to be the right horror though. No, it's the right horror. Right? Because you're like, damn, this person's actually here. Now I got to go put it all on the line. You trying to fix people that don't want to be fixed, that's not going to work. And this is the total forgiveness of your biological and adopted parents. If you can in this lifetime, you forgive them for that. They don't know any better. And the forgiveness isn't like that was a cool situation. It was fucking shitty, but you deserve to heal. So does that make sense
Yeah.
on some
Well,
level?
so like you've talked about forgiveness. We've talked about forgiveness before. And one of the things I think is like, to help me so much, and I'm still like, it was so helpful. Like this is
Yeah.
how hard forgiveness is, right?
It's hard.
Like
It's hard as a
it
motherfucker.
is really hard,
It's
and
really fucking hard.
I think it's even harder to forgive yourself. But if you're talking about people who've done things to you in your life, like one of the things that you said was maybe you don't have to start at 100%
Yeah.
forgiveness. Maybe it's 5%. And like with
That's
some
it.
people, I still cannot get to 5%. It is so
It's
hard.
okay. And that's a real one. When we say forgiveness, there's real trauma out there. People have hurt people. You've been hurt. So it's not 100%. But say you're at 0 and you recognize being at 0% of forgiveness. You're at a point of your life where you're like, does that help you? Right?
No, I mean, I know it doesn't.
Right,
Like,
right. So,
yeah.
so at least let's use the top of our logic. Like I can live in this forever if I want. I don't feel better, and it doesn't help me. Did what someone do? Was it wrong? 100%. Is the forgiveness about them? Has nothing to fucking do with them. It's about your freedom. It has nothing to do with them. They're living their own fucking life. This is about you actually have a beautiful chance to love all of you. And by just slowly starting to forgive them, which has nothing to do with them, fuck them. It has to do with you. And so that's where maybe if we're to 0, maybe we go, for my own self, maybe I'll go to a 1%. Maybe. And you don't have to do that. You could do it another lifetime if you want. You could do it whenever you want. But you can't duck it. Like if you're like, I'd like to duck this, no problem. But like you're going to carry that. It's like rage or anger. When you're feeling rage or anger, which I get, it's better than feeling like sad or shame or guilt. It's why people feel angry. And they're like, this is better than feeling scared. I'm like, you're still carrying rage. And when you're carrying rage, that's like playing with fire. And fire possibly can cook your food and keep you warm or burn your motherfucking house down tonight. Depends on what you want to do. I've never seen a single person say, I love it when people act to me in anger. I love it. I've never seen a single human say, I love it when coach is just angry at me. I've never seen when people say, I love people project anger at me. But I've never heard that one time in my life. Never heard it from a kid, a child, adult on any level. So, it does feel better than shame and guilt. But the two most powerful things I've seen with spiritual growth are the being able to like unlock your shit, redo the pattern, feel a little better in life, is forgive yourself for hurting other people and forgive other people for hurting you. And those two things take probably more courage than maybe anything. And on the back end of both of those, more enlightenment happens than anything I've ever seen in my life. And that would make sense because it requires the most of you. It requires the most of you, brother. It
So
requires the most of you.
like as you when you were just saying that, like I I don't know if there's something there, but I made a connection of how I felt a few days ago when I was like, oh, there's more behind the wall. Like there's all these things that I'm not loving about myself. Can the same thing be true about forgiveness? Because I just felt like I am stuck, like right, like I'm stuck. I'm stuck on so many levels, and like I guess with certain people in my life, I can say like, okay, like I know now that whatever's happening has nothing to do with me,
They feel stuck?
right? Well, that part doesn't feel stuck, and so I can like have brief moments where I can say, well, I can understand why you would do that.
You want to try something right now? I
Yeah.
got something for you.
Okay.
Okay, close your eyes. Close your eyes. And just find your breath. Breathe in for a count of 5. Just a nice, easy rhythm. Just let the breath come to you. And then let yourself exhale when it feels right. Beautiful. And just let yourself merge into this present moment where you're safe. You're wonderfully safe right now. And with every breath out, just letting yourself melt a little bit more here into the present, letting more of you open up a little bit. And this meditation is to let you understand how pliable and how malleable things are. When things seem stuck and permanent, they're pliable and malleable. And I want you in your mind, I want you to experience that stuckness now. Let it come out. See if you can feel that stuckness right now. See if you can identify the sensation. See if you can feel the story. It's okay what comes up. Let it come up. And as you start to gravitate around this stuckness, I want you to see that there is a gray steel prison around you. Picture it gray, steel prison, permanent, that's got you stuck. And see it as steel, almost like a real prison. Gray, permanent, concrete, iron. Good. And I want you to visualize your heart now spinning like a motherfucker. Whoa, it's warming up, and it is a glowing red, loving, warm red, a gentle warmth that is so powerful. And I want you to feel this warm red love emanating from your heart. And I want you to see it slowly, curiously making its way to that permanent prison, that gray steel around. And I want you to see as soon as that red, hot love from the source of creation touches that gray prison immediately starts to melt. And it starts to shift. And once was gray and permanent, see it shift. It's malleable. It's moving. And I want you to see that you can move it from fixed to moving it. And I want you to shape it. And I want you to open it up. And now this prison becomes an openness. And I want you to see that warmth, all that gray turn to a different color. And I want you to see how malleable it is in your work, in your life, is to form it how you want. Because that love that you have inside of you is, that stuck structure has no chance. And I want you to see the warmth looking back at you saying, whatever you need me for, I'm here. Keep opening up into the rawness. And I want you to feel that beautiful love going into that open rawness that you're opening up to. And it's just soothing it. It's like a soothing coat. Just going all over this fresh new Joey that's opening up. And that love is like, we love all of Joey. And it's making its way. And now you feel a little safer. And I want you to bring you back to that forgiveness now as you've opened up and you feel this. And see if you can go maybe from a 1, how about a 1.5? Maybe it's a 2%. See what it wants to do. See what that love that you've opened up, see what you can get to in this moment. And then once you get to that point that's good for you, good. We wrap it up. So bring your focus back to your breath now. Find your breath. We're going to wrap this up nicely. Chakra spinning, love moving around. Beautiful. Take a few more breaths, and whenever you feel ready, Joey, just open your eyes when you feel ready.
All right, I'm gonna tell you something
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. That was insane.
You know how to, before I get into it, my first teacher said, Grandma, I'm going to teach you how to fight. And it's crazy when someone says, I'm going to teach you how to fight. And fighting is not outside. Best way to win a war is never fight a war. The best way to never fight a war is you win a war inside. You know how to fight.
So, in terms of forgiveness, right? We're talking about everyone in my life, right? So in terms of forgiveness, and I guess myself too, right? I just realized I've been focusing so much on the specific actions of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for a specific time when they were mean to me, or they didn't understand, or they do like whatever, or I felt embarrassed about something I did, or, right? Like specific moments in time that I was stuck on that I couldn't forgive. And what I was just able to unlock right there was that's not where my forgiveness should be.
Oh.
And I was able to say to everyone, it's like I said, it comes back to these patterns, right? And like my patterns, like I don't feel seen sometimes, or I don't feel chosen, or whatever.
Yeah.
And what that creates is like so much tension, like like that feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I've in the most important relationships of my life, what I feel like has happened is either I don't speak up for myself sometimes, or when I have, I've been with the wrong person who's reinforcing those patterns of, my family, that when I bring that up, I bring up the hurt or the pain or whatever of not feeling those things that I feel like I need, it gets shut down, right? And like their reactions are so big that there's no space, there's no space for anyone else's feelings at that time. And so what I was just able to do was to say to everybody, I forgive you for not allowing me to express my anger and hurt. And then I was able to say to myself, I forgive myself for not being able to express my anger and hurt. And like,
bro, way to go.
Like,
okay,
that totally reframed
yeah,
how I'm going to look at forgiveness from now on.
I'm not teaching anything. I don't have anything to give anyone. This was all inside of you. I'm just next to you, letting it come out. It's how they showed me to let it come out. Because when I was like, it's permanent, of course, it's permanent. You put a permanent fucking structure to save yourself with permanence. And then at a certain time, you're like, well, that's going to kill me if I don't open that up. So most of the time I notice it's gray for most. It's like a gray steel type thing. And you bring, when she first taught me this, she said, Graham, close your eyes. I'm like, what is this bullshit? You know what I mean? Like, what is this fucking hippie bullshit? Like, I'm a real man. Like, I had no idea what's going on. I close my eyes, and she goes, visualize it. What color is it? And I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, there's the color. And I saw it. She goes, change the color of it. And I was like, what? Oh, shit. Then I changed the color of it. And she didn't say the words, but I was like, oh, I have agency here. I'm not a victim to, like, things that hit me. No one just taught me how to do this. No one's ever taught me to shift the color of something in my mind. No one's ever told me that a permanent thought pattern attached to emotion is, fuck that shit. It ain't permanent at all. Bullshit ass shit. Watch how we get at it. So I come at this from a place of like, yeah, because people need to know, like, you're doing real work. She was a gentle, loving lady, but I knew a warrior was talking to me. I looked her in the eyes and I was like, this is a warrior. This is a real fucking warrior. And one day I'll show you the book that she wrote. It is a book on weapons. These weapons. Not a steel sword. We're like, stop them from hurting me. A weapon of like, I know how to forgive and actually go into unlimited power. And it takes way more courage than killing them anyway. Because you're going to go in. So it makes me like, way to go. You just stepped in the ring. What was that, 5 minutes? You knocked it the fuck out in 5 minutes. So this isn't make-believe. Now, what it took for you to have the courage to get here. Now, trauma's real, man. I'm not saying that. Like, shit is real. Like, you had to make it in life to get to a place where you have maybe distance from it to start doing this, right? Like, first thing is try to get out of a situation you're in that's causing you trauma. Jesus Christ, right? So we pray for it. Please. We hope that. And then once you're out, though, the comfort of the lame old pattern will be there. You're like, it's comfortable. You just did one of these and then did it in your mind, and it was like getting 10,000 reps of it like this, and then you had a breakthrough on what to do. So all the answers are already inside of you. You're just going to them, man. So I'm glad you had that experience. It's the same experience I had. It's all fucking pliable in your head. Nothing is permanent. This is where you get to like, when people are like, I want to feel like a man. I'm like, well, we can show you how to feel like a man because you just fought for real. That's a real fight. You face real fear. You're a champion swimmer. You've gone to one of the most prestigious colleges I've ever seen. All human beings like you. You have beautiful children. Like, all these things in life. And you, like, this is the fight of fights. So I always try to help people. And again, it doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, or however you identify. But if you want to, like, know what a good fight is. And like, actually, and one where, like, on the back end, you're like, that was a great fight. Because you, like, not a fight where you feel bad after. We're like, this is a fight where, like, bro, you know how to fight. No, and when my teacher wrote the book, and it was actually her teacher who wrote it, it gets deep. The weapons are awareness. So they might say, arrows of awareness. 10,000 arrows fire at the illusion that things are permanent. We just fired 100,000 motherfucking arrows at that permanent thing that you thought was real. We're like, we're going to test that motherfucker. And it folded in 10 seconds. That bitch folded in fucking 10 seconds and you rebuilt it up. Do you need, we'll fire more. 10,000. I have 1 billion fucking arrows. I have the arrow making machine. We'll send 12 trillion arrows at something. You think there's anything that can stop that? So that's one example,
dope,
right? Like an arrow,
yeah.
or like the spear of perfect, like a spear that'll cut through all illusions. Where you're like, oh, this thing. You're like, watch, I can hit you from 12 galaxies away in a moment. And I'm glad you're watching because you're seeing it in real time. This is really, look at, if we were just reading energy right now, you'd be seeing a wave of openings opening up, and you feel like crying, like all the emotions are here because it's hard to explain this shit. It's hard to explain maybe why we didn't have access to this earlier in life. I felt burdened having access to this as a teenager. And then when I met our good friend O'Donnell, he was like, hey, Graham, have you heard of sports psychology? And I was like, basically, this is what he said in that moment. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to launder all this shit that I got taught that's way too hippie and out there. I got to run it through sports. Because sports is, practical. You know what I mean? And now we can do this through relationship. The best way to have a relationship with someone else, relationship with yourself. And I think you're having a pretty good relationship with yourself right now.
So far today, what's even crazier is like how you just connected it, right? It's like, so this person that I was seeing and things just ended, like she ended up going back to an unhealthy familiar pattern, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things she said to me was, I think I need someone a little more masculine.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I never, like, I didn't say at the time because I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
I've never had anyone tell me that before.
Yeah.
And like, if I could go back to that moment and have that conversation, it was said like, and I know what she meant, right? Like, you have this idea of what masculine means in your head, and probably whatever that is leads to a whole bunch of unhealthy patterns, right? But to me, being masculine means showing up, being in the fight, not running away, like being grounded, like having having the ability to regulate your emotions while putting strength out there, being protective without being controlling, right? Like all of those things. And then you bring this into like, you just went into this spiritual warfare and fought the biggest fight. Like,
this is to me,
that's what that is,
as
right?
masculine as it gets, which it turns out is not violent outside. It turns out, I don't know if violent's the right word, but a real fucking fight inside.
It's just like conflict, right?
Like you were basically like, this shit is permanent.
You're duking it out with yourself.
You said something was permanent, right, and fixed. Fuck that. But you know what I mean?
It was like the Kool-Aid man, like running through walls. Like,
So there's a real concrete wall, right? And it looks real. We're going to go fight. Right? And to go like, because it looks like, and we got to go bust some heads. And I just frame it like that because as I started to do this, I was like, wait, this is badass. Nobody knows. And I know there's a crisis out there of people trying to figure out how to be a man or like whatever. That's what I hear. And I'm like, dude, this is the most manly shit I've ever seen in my life. And here's some of the irony of it. I guess you might call it masculine, but like a lot of the masculine firepower is learning feminine ways. And the feminine is actually way more powerful. So if the idea of masculine is like this powerful thing, totally get it. Do you want to know what the powerful thing is? It ain't that. The feminine is the one that's like, and when we think about feminine, just think about childbirth for a second, right? So, you want to know what toughness is? Do you want to squeeze a cantaloupe through your asshole right now? No, absolutely not, right? You want to be split in half? Probably not, right? So, that to me is the pinnacle of physical badass, right? And it comes through like a different energy source. My wife's broken it down to me of like, you have to surrender to something so profound to let this thing happen. And it turns out it's the most badass shit. And so the best athletes I've ever worked with are the people that open themselves up to love. They are hardcore. Like when you just close your eyes and face the ultimate fear that you said it's fucking permanent. And I was like, that's like some bully saying, I'm going to kill you. We're like, let's go see what's up. Right? And we're like, oh, that bully just said he was going to kill us. How long has he been saying he's going to kill you for? Your whole life? Let's go see what's up. And what that bully didn't know was, you knew me. I got introduced to some shit. We got some weapons for that bully that it has no chance. So I'm like, that bully is dead, motherfucker. Be loving with what you do with this. Because once you understand how to fight, there is no limitation. So what we teach everyone with this is, as you come into this, keep it in the light. Because a bully, about to get fucking decimated, dog. We're about to end your fucking bloodline. And your kids are going to come up and ask us to teach them how to do this. I already know that. And so I have compassion. Like real warriors know, oh, this ain't a fight. It's already a wrap. I'm just already in the negotiation of after, how do we live together after I dismantle you? Yeah, right? So, yeah, sorry. That's how this fucking works. Okay? And that's why I've been trained by warriors. Now they may come off like old ladies and, but like, if you know, you know.
That's like one of the things, like Graham is, and I've told him this, like he's so confident, right? Like, I will be a mess and I'll call him and he's just like, I'll be in like the pit of despair and he's like, I love this for you, man. You're doing it. You're doing the work. Like, and just to, like, you just have such a confidence about how you know that this works.
That I got lucky with that. It'd be like, say we were all holding our breath and not drinking water, and someone like handed me a glass of water and taught me how to breathe. I was just going to share it with everyone else. So I see people like going, no, and I'm just like, I know this works, right? This is way beyond a belief system for me. I'm not like, I believe in this thing. I'm like, there's mechanics here of how this works. They taught it to me and I did it and I see it now. And so I just try to articulate it in funny ass little ways with jewelry and fucking belts and whatever. Like, let's learn to be present. So we play present. Like, what the fuck? Like, you still got to do it every day. If I don't do this today, it's going to go downhill for me. So like I appreciate you saying that, but I'm just a regular person who is doing it with you. Learn this stuff works. It works in the moment, dog. I just said, close your fucking eyes. And 5 minutes later, before you were like, I can't get to forgiveness. This is permanent. And I'm just like, the bully was like flicking your nose. I'm like, Joey, we got to punch back. You know what I mean? And you may not even have known you had thumpers with you. They're like, this thing has no chance. It's just praying you're unaware. And so in 5 minutes, we got down. You got in your first fight, mixed it up a little bit, and decimated it.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And here's where the piece is. It was already fighting him, so fuck it. It was already attacking you, so you don't have to have mercy on it. If you see your friend getting choked, are you just going to sit there and be like, it's all good that you're getting choked? No. I'm going to be like, come on, man. Like, so you're like, there's this permanent thing. I'm like, not even close, fucking, not even close. Close your fucking eyes. And do you see the color thing? The color thing is real. Put it into colors in your mind. Golden light tends to be very healing. I've noticed gray and like iron, even like you go to like a prison, it's gray. They paint the fucking bars gray. Permanent iron. So you bring a red to it, red's gonna melt that. It just dissolves with love. And then it's malleable, so reform it. So maybe you take that permanent thing and you go, I'm gonna put something around my heart that permanently keeps it open. You know what I mean? Like, use it to your advantage. Like, I'm gonna make a structure of devotion that allows that every day I do this. And if there's anything permanent, I'm going to be permanent with devotion. So as you do this, that's what I noticed too. I'm not motivated to do it every day, so don't worry about motivation. That's not the key. It's more about devotion and discipline. And all that means is, I don't feel like doing this lame shit. I don't feel like fucking forgiving. And then you remember devotion and you go, okay, if I don't forgive right now, keep it permanent, who suffers? Fucking I do. So I forgive you, whoever, just so I don't want to fucking feel like this today. Whatever. Like, it's not even about them. I just don't want to feel like this. And so that can make it easier to get, if you're at 2% forgiveness, let's try 3. this is important. You don't have to get to 100% in this lifetime. I totally get it. Some of the pain is so much, it doesn't even feel right to do that. Just what helps is being aware. Just notice who's hurting if you don't forgive. That's all.
Like one of the things, like as I was talking about your confidence in it, you said before, like, right, like there's mechanics to this, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so I just put it into the perspective of like, you went to school for this,
Yeah.
right? Like you
I
have
went
a
to school.
master's,
I
like,
went to school.
and so you've been trained in it, but you've also trained in it, right? Like
Yeah.
you got to that place because of what was going on in your life, and
That's right.
you figured out it works. It's like the same thing. Like
That's right.
when I moved out here 25 years ago, I moved out here to swim,
Yeah.
right? And I spent 4 years perfecting that craft at the like some of the highest
Yeah.
levels, and I consider that like my master's or my PhD in swimming,
That's
right?
right.
And so if we went to the pool and you were like, Joey, I don't know how to
Oh, I
swim,
can't. I don't.
I'd be like,
Right. I don't have shorts on.
I'd be like, Graham, this is how you do it. And I would start from the base. I'd be like, do you know how to float?
Yeah. Right.
Let's teach you how to float. All right. Let's
Yeah.
teach you that, like, you don't just float like this. You want to stretch your body out. You know, like all these different mechanics. And once you learn how to float, then you got to learn how to kick. And then you got to learn how to move your arms. And you got to learn how your body position goes. Right. So I am absolutely confident that I can teach you how to swim amazingly.
Yeah. No problem.
Right. And so it's just the same thing. But I think because it's a matter of like to me, swimming is like, it's just physical, right? It's like you just do what I say. Like you put your body in the
Right,
positions and
right.
it'll work, right? The mind is so much, people think of it as so much more of a out there
Yeah.
thing that's harder to change, and you're out there trying to grab at things, but like you make it pretty simple and you're like, well, just do this because I've done it and I know
I
that it
think
works.
that was my calling for whatever reason. I remember my first teacher, like, and again, she would say some vast, wild shit, but it made sense to me. And I think I was primed for it to make sense. And I knew my job was just make this into simple skills for people because it's totally doable. Like, comes off hooey and weird. I'm like, it's not. If no one knew how to swim and you were like one of the only people in the world swimming, we would think you were a little strange. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, until we all started going, hey, turns out we can all fucking swim. So, like maybe, if I spent 25 years at it, I bet you I'd get pretty good at swimming. Right? We just spent 5 fucking minutes on this and you got better. So this isn't like, you don't have to be an Olympic swimmer, right? So like just bring it back to the basics. And that's what I think is always practical for people. It's like, this is a really now thing where like, we just did something where you can start to feel better, relatively quickly. And I know you had to trust me to be like, hey, is there a process? Like, and swimming wise, I'm like, Joey, I'm in the deep end chilling, brother. Like, I'm like in this stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like,
Mermaid
yeah.
Graham over
I'm
here at the
just like,
deep end.
they're like, oh my God, it's so dark. What's underneath? I'm like, oh, all my friends are down here. Come down
Yeah,
here.
like it's all good.
I live in the darkness of the pool. Like, they're like, I'm going to die. I'm like, brother, it feels so good in here. Like, they're like, there's sharks. I'm like, oh, that's Randy. We've learned to love Randy. He doesn't want to hurt you. Like, like, so yes, I'm
Love that.
that's just, that's why I'm here to share, I'm here to share it. Fucking fantastic.
So let's, just for everybody.
Wait,
here-
really help this one. This is called a 1-day deal. So a 1-day deal means this shit can feel so daunting at times, right?
Yeah.
Just do it today. Don't even worry about tomorrow. Our mind can start going to like, what about, and then my marriage, and all. How about just right now? We woke up today. There's no promise you're going to wake up tomorrow. Trust me, you don't get a warning for that. Hey, brother, I'm not going to wake up tonight. I just want to let you. It doesn't work like that. We'll get a call. Joey didn't wake up, and we'll have to deal. So a 1-day deal, just put your mind at rest to go, you know what? Let's just do it today. There's no way we're going to, you might think I've been doing this for what, just like you've been an Olympic swimmer. Maybe I'm an Olympic level mindset person. Brother, every day I have to fucking do this. And it's not like I'm there and now I don't do it. I'm like, dude, if I'm not present today, it's a shit show. Like, you know what I mean? So these are just, it's a way of living every day.
That's like in the morning. So in the morning I try, and I don't do it every day. I did it this morning, but like I have like a little ceremony that I say to myself, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
one
nice.
of the things that part of it is like I put some intentions that I want to do for the day. It's like one thing, like one goal. It's like one thing is good enough for today, and I say that to myself, like that's enough for today.
Boom.
Right.
1 day deal. You're so on it. One breath now. Just be here. Just do it today. And this is truthful. If we're lucky enough to wake up tomorrow, let's sign another 1 day deal. I don't know. And then, we see where we take this. Look at this, too, as we start to close this session here. This is what kind of hit me. So I look at this I look at you like an instrument, right? So if you're like, it's tight and fixed, or like it's like that. If we had a guitar, I have a guitar over there, but I can't pull it. Imagine the strings are super tight, right? You're like, now, how's that going to play? Fucking shitty music, right? You're like tight, might even break a string or two, right? Really rigid shit, right? Right? You're living like that. The other side of it is just way too loose. You're like, brother, fucking no. Like, you can't just, So we have to tune our instrument every day, right? And this is the reading, what do I need today to get myself into the present, to find a harmony so I can be with it. You called it a wave. You're like, just being with that right wave of the day that you're supposed to ride. And that means you might have to observe a few hundred waves that aren't for you. And that's the skill. So you go, oh, I see that wave. That wave's even comfortable. But I now know that's not the wave, right? So the first pattern, that's a wave. We know what catching that wave does. You crash and there's no one on a jet ski to pick you up on that wave. It's the worst wave to crash on, right? You're like, it's a bad wave. Everyone told you not to be on it. They're like, you're going to die. Sometimes you need to hit the rocks. It's okay. It's okay. The waves we're talking about, you're like, this is the right wave. Might be uncomfortable for you in this moment, but you know it's the right one. Ride that wave. And if you fall off that wave, it's the right fall. Either way, you're going to have to work in this world. So if you find the work where you're playing the good music every day, where you feel aligned, that's what we do every day. And if you play your instrument, if you tune your instrument and it has to be tuned every day. When it gets cold, things chipped. When it's hot, it's not fixed. Every day you got to read. You can be with it every day. And when I say it, the only way I know how to explain it is energy. And the energy is real. It exists on every level and everywhere. And it's here now, and you can align yourself with it. And it's pretty wild. What happens? So,
well,
we're all doing it together.
This is session 1. We have a crazy plan for tomorrow.
What the hell
We're just going to roll out into public and see if people want to talk to us about it.
Yeah. I think we're going to go to the Marina District in SF. I've been around SF my whole life. I'm like, what I've noticed about the Marina, maybe it's a lot of people in their 20s and 30s and looking for dates and relationships. So we're just going to set up shop, set the chairs down, maybe make a little sign. I don't know what to put on the sign. Maybe a heart. Something like that. I know if we had a dog with us, I bet we could attract a lot of people. Dogs. We'll see.
They let you go to the SPCA and walk them for a day or something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But we're gonna put ourselves out there.
One of us is gonna end up with a dog. Because we're gonna be like, this little guy is so cute.
We can't tell my wife about that. She will take the dog home.
All right.
She will take all the dogs home. And we already have one, and we can't take any more right now.
All right. Well, we're gonna go get a little vulnerable in public tomorrow, but.
Hey, but what do we know about vulnerability? Victory goes to the vulnerable. So think about it's vulnerable. Forgiveness. I can't fucking do it, right? And then you align that with the right. You found a vulnerability that was right, and you're like, turns out I can. And it looks like you had to forgive yourself a little bit too. It wasn't necessarily the other people. Boom.
Yeah.
Way to go.
That's what this is all about. If you are out there looking to improve the relationships in your life, any relationship in your life, it starts with the relationship with yourself. So that's where we're going to take this.
Great work. I hope you like the garage.